What's happening, Magnusites? Today myself, Tyrone Magnus, the Gem Savage, the Black Tiger, the Black Kryptonian, the Tyrannical Thinker, and the Dark Mjolnir. If you don't know what that means, it's another name for Black Hammer. I had a Google Hangout with the player Supreme and his girlfriend Jovina. We had a real good time. It lasts around an hour and a half, and we answered a few questions for his viewers. And tell me if you like it. If you do, I'm going to do more with him, okay? And I'll be able to invite some Magnusites and Magnusitas onto the chat so that, you know, I can answer some of your questions, see some of you in person, you know, on the webcam and all that. The brother's deep. He knows what he's doing. He actually, on his channel, The Player Supreme, you know, he teaches men how to be successful with the ladies in a positive way. He's got an interesting way of doing things, and he actually contacted me because he liked how me and Sarah actually communicate our thoughts to our viewers. So, you know, we got along right away. He actually reminds me a lot of myself. We got a lot in common, and Jovina has actually a lot in common with Sarah and how they think. So, you know, it was a match made in heaven. We had a good time. It's funny, too, if you watch it. I'm actually a little bit nervous during the little interview, you know, hangout chat thing, because I had to get used to it. It's a little different. Like, I didn't know whether to look at the cam or look at the screen. But, you know, just let me know how you think. Post your comments below. If you love it, don't worry, we're going to do more, and we'll be able to get the Magnusites in on it, all right? Oh, man, subscribers. Woo!
And there the man is, the man of thought.
You see me?
I can see you.
It's my first time, y'all, so can you see both of us?
And there's the snow kitty, or snow leopard. Hey,
no,
Sarah.
That's his name for me, not me.
You had her laughing. So I watched a couple other videos you posted. And,
oh, okay. We really like the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good show. Good thing going there. So how this is going to work, if someone talks and someone cuts in the talk, it'll cut their video out feed. So we're going to do the question and answer, and you guys go first, and we'll wait till you're completely done, and then we'll take over and give our opinion for the fellas also.
Okay.
But first, let's what's your background there, Tyrone?
Well, I know you want to know how I got the show started. What happened was, actually, I'm a big wrestling fan, and not so much anymore because it's been getting on my nerves. But when John Cena and The Rock were about to go at it in Miami a couple years back, I decided to do a video. You know, so I did an impression of The Rock. It's like my first video that I ever did. And from there, I started doing wrestling videos, reviews of, you know, Monday Night Raw. But then I just, you know, people started writing me, asking me different questions. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to have some fun with this. And then I was like, you know, she's a character. I'm sure you've seen her in the videos. She's a character. I said, they're going to love her. So once I can get her in the videos, then people started writing us and, you know, asking for her to be in the vids. They wanted the woman's opinion and stuff like that. So that's how it all got started, you know, us doing it together.
Yeah, I see she burns up the side of your head sometimes.
Yeah.
That looks.
Yeah. Do it more.
I felt that look myself before.
Yeah, that's part of the job.
I
got into it.
Good.
I got into this business back in the 90s. There was a fellow that came to me. He's one of my personal training clients, and he wanted to know how to meet girls. And I was a trainer, an aerobic instructor, dance instructor, and you know, kind of came natural for me during that time period. But I had to teach myself how not to be shy and all that. So he was an ex-priest also. So I taught him how to meet girls, and then that movie Hitch came out, and then he got me online. The same fellow got me online because he was a TV producer. He's now working in Hollywood as a casting director and all that kind of stuff. But from online, I discovered something called Pimp's Network, and there was like a couple of real pimps on there and stuff like that. And from there, I went to a site called So Suave. I basically got into the dating niche, and I started giving guys advice. And they didn't like the real advice, from African Americans. They wanted all that nerd shit. So I got tired of getting into arguments with these guys, and I eventually said, you know what? I studied radio broadcasting, so I started my own podcast show. From there, the podcast show grew into a forum, and then I got on YouTube, and I've been on YouTube doing videos and all that kind of stuff. But I speak on confidence and how to get over your shyness, how to get over fear, your self-esteem, and stuff like that. I kind of dropped the player stuff because one fellow wrote me talking about, he left some kids here, left kids there, and I realized, I was a father to my kids, so I don't want to push out that whole player mentality of leaving kids all over the world.
Yeah, he didn't want to give the wrong impression of what he was about.
Yeah. A lot of guys get that wrong impression because I'm black, and they come over, hey, get your baby powder out so you slap them hoes, all that kind of nonsense. Yeah.
I think there's a difference between being a player and knowing how to play the game and talk to women and be confident. I think people confuse the two. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for me, it's all about helping guys, get over their shy crap and go out and just get a girlfriend or get a woman in your life instead of that unhappy life they live.
Well, I think you get to a certain point in your life, and that is what you want.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I was going to actually ask, I was going to say, how did your wife get in on the vids? Was it kind of like with me? I kind of drug her into it. Was it kind of like that, or did she want to be a part of it, or what?
We're actually not married yet, but that's coming. I was, I did my game at nightclubs.
Yeah.
And the DJ was a friend of mine. She would walk by and say, I wish she would just smile at me, say hi. So I said, here, let me take care of that for you. So I went over and I stopped her and talked to her, got her number and all that. I didn't mean to date her, but I just meant to get her to say hi.
And that's been, what, 9 years?
Yeah, 9 years. Yeah. I kind of stopped dating. When my little brother died from cancer about 9 years ago, I stopped everything. I stopped teaching dance. I just stopped all my stuff I was passionate about, and they said, she was a great girl. She passed my test. They make the bid the next morning. That's a girl for me. So
I didn't know you were testing me. I had no idea.
So we've been together ever since.
Yeah. I think we were both ready too.
Yeah, I was ready. I was 44. I don't want to be the old guy in the club,
Yeah. There's always that one.
Just at that age. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a buddy that you actually remind us a lot of. Even your build, your goatee, everything. And he can play it too. You know what I mean? He got tons of stories, and he's a funny dude. Just like, jokes. He needs his own show too, just kind of like you do. You know what I mean? He would be really funny. Maybe one day, everything goes well. Maybe I can get him to come on the show.
That would be funny.
It'd be me, you, and him, or something. I think y'all would have a good time. Yeah. I'm the little man in the crew. Y'all had a lot more experience than me. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's do that. The Three Amigos.
Yep.
How did you meet Sarah?
Huh?
He called you the Three Amigos. I said he loves that movie.
No, he said something about Sarah, didn't you?
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
Yeah.
At the club.
We met at the club.
Met at the club.
Yes.
She came in with a friend that I already knew. I was checking her out. I had seen her before, so I made my way over when all the girls get together, start dancing together. I was like, watch me work my way in. So I worked my way in between, and we paired off, and all night we was just us. So, and from there, I ran into her a month later at a New Year's Eve party, gave her my number because she said she had a man, and I said, all right, well, we'll be friends. And I really meant it.
I said, you don't want to be friends.
You call me if you want. And 2 months later, she called me. And no, she texted me, and I was like, that girl's single. She's single. I know she's single.
You planted the seed.
Planted the seed. Now let it go. Yeah.
Very cool. Looks like one of the
somebody's already
guys from my channel showed up.
I can't hear you.
Matthew?
Yeah,
okay, Matthew. What I want to do, Matthew, is mute your mic out so that we can continue our talking and stuff like that. And looks like EU Hustler is in. Good. He's already got his mic muted.
Matthew, I don't know if Matthew heard you. He didn't mute his.
Matthew, make sure you mute your mic, if you could. Yes,
Okay, sorry.
Matthew.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see much. Oh, there you are.
That's okay. That's because you're sitting in the dark, brother.
No, I'm.
Turn the light on, you might see.
No, I'm on my deck. I'm going to be moving in a few months, but right now I don't want to be in my house where I can't talk.
Okay, good. What I want you to do is mute your mic.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know how. Wait. Oh, here it is.
There you go.
Yeah, up there at the top, you see the little microphone. Just click it. There you go. Okay. All right. So we just did our introduction. We learned how Tyrone and Sarah met each other, and we've shared how Jovina and I met each other. We did it in the nightclubs.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell my fellows that that's where girls go to meet men. They go to the nightclubs.
You can mean a
You
good
know, you can do it all on the streets and all that stuff, but if you want an easy thing, it's like fishing in a pond or in a barrel. Girls go to the nightclubs. That's the best place. So let's continue with our questions. We got a list of questions over here that people have written in and asked, and we'll let Sarah and Tyrone go first on all the questions because they're the guests here. All right, this one was sent by a fellow named SR9, and he writes, Supreme, I have a question for you and Tyrone. You ever get some shit about that song,
Yeah.
Tyrone?
Oh,
Better
yeah.
call Tyrone?
All the time. When it first came out, I really got it. I don't get it that much anymore, but I remember, I'll never forget, I was working at Caldor, right, during Christmas, and some people needed some help with something, and I said, listen, all right, do this and do that. You need anything, tell them to call Tyrone. And I walked away, and I heard them all laughing. I turned around, I'm like, yeah, y'all laughing at the song, right? Yeah, that's how you call Tyrone. Yeah.
All the time. What's a good way to make women laugh on a coffee date? I'm having a hard time being humorous or bringing humor to the conversation. How can I make her laugh when I'm on my dates?
Well, if it was me, I mean, I like to pick. Like, I'll play with a girl from the beginning. A lot of guys are afraid to do that. So, you know, you got to be delicate with it. I mean, if you've got the rapport with the girl, this is the way I feel. If you've already got the rapport, like when I first met her, matter of fact, it was a problem with me making jokes because a lot of pretty girls aren't used to being joked with, and they find it offensive. But if you can weave in the right, if you that one's when you read the question, she said this. Ooh, that one's hard. It is kind of hard because only certain guys, and I know Player Supreme knows, you've been out, or maybe you do it yourself, and you know a guy that'll start joking with the girls from the gate, and you like, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have said that to her, and then you find out later on he got her number because he was so comfortable around her. He was able to make those little jokes that enabled her to let her hair down. You know what I mean? And say, hey, he's a real guy. You know, he's not just, you know, hi, how are you? Can we dance? Can I buy you a drink? I really can't. Like, all right, say the girl's got a Coach bag. You know, you could just say, oh, so you want them gold diggers, but you want the super grande, don't you? You want me to spend all this money on you? You can do that, and it's a joke. It's a, you know, she's like, no, I'm not a gold digger. You know, something like little small things. That's what I think. What you think, Brad? Or well, do you want to answer on it?
Yes.
Tell me something.
I don't know. The question was addressed to you. I mean, it's easy on the girls' part because we don't have to make the jokes. The guys are expected to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if you're just playing around with her and making little jokes, you know, to me that was a hard question because either you're funny or you're not. And
some dudes just don't have
if you try too hard to be funny and you're not like naturally comedic, then it comes off as you trying to use lines or you're trying too hard. So if people don't tell you all the time, oh, you're a funny guy, you're funny, don't try too hard to be funny because you're going to come off as disingenuous. I would say just try to be yourself and just make small talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you're getting further in the conversation, you'll kind of know what you can joke about, but it's deep. See, he's been doing this a while. This is his art. I had to learn to do this. This took me years, and through osmosis just filtered in. And one day it was like, I got it. But I was so awkward until the age of like 25. You know what I mean? I'm 36 now. You know what I mean? That's late for a lot of guys to learn how to talk to women, how to joke and hit the right joke and get them to be that comfortable around you. You know, but he's the man with the book. So let's see what he says without the joking.
Okay. What I would say to SR9 is he's trying to look for some kind of magic that's going to make a girl relax around him. He thinks jokes is the magic inroad into it. And that's part of it because when you start cracking jokes with a girl, she kind of relaxes more. But that's not everything. It's got to be your personality, your charisma, what we call swag. That's all mixed in there. Like when I was training the Caucasian guy for the game, he was a 6'3" white guy. I could say a joke, and girls, would laugh at it. They would take it the wrong way. But if he said the same thing, because he was really stiff and uptight, and it'll come off the wrong way.
Yeah, it's all in the delivery.
Yeah, it's all delivery and who you are as a person. So for SR9, and I know him, he's got these internal issues going on that he needs to conquer. He's got fear, a lack of confidence, a whole bunch of stuff that Tyrone and I both had to develop ourselves the hard way. Like I was like Tyrone. I was a geek. I was a bookworm. I was a goober. I was an anime freak. Still watch anime. I just watched Bleach this morning at 54 years of age. And I'm a big kid.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to look forward to, Sarah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, trust me, I've already been introduced to Dragon Ball Z, so.
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
Learn to like the things your man likes.
No, she really
exactly. That's what my girlfriend is to do. I like all the action adventure stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, so for SR9, stop looking for the magic in laughter. And like Sarah said, if you don't have it naturally, in working with a lot of really smart people, their humor tends to come off kind of strange.
Yeah.
Because their intelligence is way up here, and the normal bandwidth is down here. And what's funny to them won't be funny to people on that normal bandwidth. So for humor, if you got it, then use it like Tyrone does. Like this, the way you start is the way you finish. I start with some jokes. I crack some jokes. And for example, one girl I went on a date with, she took me in her house. I went to her bedroom, and she had this one of them. I was talking about this point. Girls like these beds you got to climb up to a freaking ladder. So I jumped on her bed and I flopped around like a fish. Tested out and hopped off. We went on our date and came back and whatever. So. That kind of made her relax. She could see, this grown-ass man flopping on the bed like a fish.
Yeah.
And cracking jokes.
That works. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So whatever's in your personality that you can bring out to help girls relax is what you really want. You don't have to be Mr. Funny Man. If I like to laugh. Like when I met Jovina, I was always going like this, flipping her lips
Still
and.
doing that.
And all this kind of stuff.
My nerves. Like,
Yeah.
You do it too?
No, I'm a start doing it.
no, you're not. I already got
Hey,
the
you got something?
girl. No, lip, and you good.
Everything, yeah.
Because we used to play as a kid, so that's part of my personality, though. I like to be really light and humorous, and I like to have fun versus being stiff. So SR9, your goal is to get yourself to relax first. If you can relax, then the girl will relax also. It's not all about just telling jokes, but it's about being relaxed. Let your natural personality come out. Anything you guys want to
You know what?
add to that?
Let your natural personality come out, because that you see it, law of attraction. I was going to say that if you already are able to joke with your friends in a certain manner, if you can relax and treat her like a friend, then it'll come out naturally. You know what I mean? And not too much of a friend, but just like you'll be carrying on this conversation you have with your friends in a circle. If you're the guy that cracks a joke every 4 or 5 minutes, just throw that in there in your normal conversation. Just stay relaxed and you'll be okay because it'll be natural. You'll realize it's part of your personality. And if you get a grin, if you get a smile, then continue. If you don't, you're probably a little, tight. Just relax and stay cordial with the girl, and I think eventually you will relax and be able to.
It's about making the girl feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Like I told her, it's so funny that you said, how can I, make crack jokes at a coffee setting? Because the first time I got her to hang out with me, I said, well, why don't you come over and watch some movies with me? And she was like, no, I don't feel comfortable
I know
what watching movies means. I was like, all right, that's cool. And without batting an eyelash, I said, well, that's cool. We can meet at Starbucks if you want. Public setting, have some coffee and talk, have a good conversation. And she was like, oh.
He got me to let my guard down.
He is a nice man.
I thought he wasn't trying to do nothing slick if he was willing to meet me in public.
But because she knew I was willing to meet her in public, she met me in private.
You know how that
went. So. But nah, that was just a little add-on to that.
And there she sits.
There I sit, yeah. And well, it's funny, going on, making the girl feel relaxed. When we did meet, I was on this end of the couch, and he was on this end of the couch, and I was sitting there with my arms folded, and he was like, you can come closer, I don't bite. He made a little joke, so.
I don't bite. Oh,
God. So anyway.
Yeah, so that's good.
Okay, our next question is from Amon Ra.
This
one might be an interesting one for you. How do I find my passion and purpose in life so I can start my own business? That's off the topic, but I guess we could give it a try.
Real quick, finding your passion is doing what you love. If you can do it and it don't feel like work, you found your passion. Like for me, I found that I love to act. I love to have fun. I like to make people laugh. I like to inspire people, motivate people, and that's why I continue to do the YouTube videos. YouTube is going to be my career. It is my career, and it's fun for me. If it's drudgery, it's not the business you want to be in. A lot of people get in businesses where they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor because it pays a lot. If you really don't want to be a doctor, you don't want to put in them hours, you don't want to deal with sick people, don't be a doctor. But if you want to, I don't know, if you're a cook and you love to cook, you love to feed people, open a restaurant and you be the cook.
Use the law of attraction, and you have to feel good about finding your passion. Every day concentrate on that. Don't focus on a career or a job or a business. Focus on the feeling that finding your passion is going to give you. I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel motivated in the morning. I want to be happy with what I'm doing in life. And focus on all those positive feelings, and you'll draw into your life something that is going to give you the reflection of those feelings.
Very good. Very well said. Jovina? I forgot you last time.
You did forget me last time.
You will be in trouble later, player.
You'll make up for it later.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, doing what you love is what is very important. I am very guilty of doing what I don't love to do. And so I am very guilty of that. As a matter of fact, he keeps telling me all the time, you need to just get out of what you're doing and do what you love. And I should, but I think for me it's fear, and that's what a lot of guys think is they have this fear, like, oh, what if I'm not successful?
Yeah.
But I do feel like if you don't take that leap, if you don't take that chance, you're never going to know. So and when you're young, it's different. For me, it's different because I'm older, more established. But for somebody younger, it's like, okay, you could do that. You still have a lot of time to be able to accomplish this. So I think just go for it and really and the way you find out what your passion in life is what you most love to do. Obviously, that's the obvious answer. But I think everyone should always go for that, and I know that.
Yeah, that's
He's going
very
to give
true.
me some crap after this show.
You done committed yourself now.
He's going to give me some
Now
crap
you
after
have to
the
do
show
it.
over this. Yeah, I know.
Like you
It's like
said
I'm
in
trying to-
the video, Jovina. Now go take your own advice.
I should take my own advice, but
You will be taking your own advice.
But before, when I was single, I had to make sure I was making money to pay the bills. I couldn't take that, that chance on not making money. So yeah, that was my thing. So.
And she's really her passion is style and dress. She watches that crap every. I call it crap.
All the crap.
After
along just fine.
yeah.
That's
She's
just
watched that
right here.
Style Channel and all that. Yeah.
Well,
Every day, every second of the day.
But I help you out with the guys. I give the guys advice.
What not to wear. What not to
Yes.
wear. She watches that.
Exactly. That's one of my favorites, actually.
shows. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Not to wear with Stacey Sinclair. Yep.
Stacey Sinclair. Yep.
Well,
So-
well, I was going to say real quick, the whole thing is, just like me and you, Player Supreme, we grew into what we are. She grew into what she is today because she was one of the girls she used to talk trash, that she talks trash about now. Sometimes she'll say something, I'll be like, you need to stop. You was dressing like that a few years ago. I'll be like, don't talk trash. Just let the girl go. Leave her alone.
You know what? She's the same way.
I get on here all the time.
No, you talk shit about other girls.
Well,
that
I
bitch.
do, but
That bitch.
I have a reason to say something. When you're at home and you're just like lounging around, that's one thing. But when you go out, when you step out, that's a
Don't
different
go out
story.
the house in pajamas.
Pajamas and bedroom slippers.
Yeah, don't go out the house in pajamas
Yeah.
and house shoes. They're house shoes for a reason.
If she gets mad, like she'll be like, can't stand when girls come out the house looking like that. I'm like, calm down, babe. We about to have lunch. Don't bring all this negative energy, your hatred for her outfit, into our lunch. Like,
Yeah. I just hate seeing girls with flip flops in the club too. That used to bug.
Yeah. That's not a
bare
good look.
feet in the clubs.
You're trying to impress
Bare
somebody. That's
feet in the club.
That's a trend lately. A lot of bare feet. A lot of, yeah.
And we thought,
Now,
actually, we thought only white girls did that, the barefoot in the club. All black women, back to back, we've been seeing in the club barefoot.
I was like, what is going on? I never seen black people out without shoes on, ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like white
I guess
people they'll take their shoes off in the house. Black people wear their shoes until they go to bed. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
see,
Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
He's wearing his sneakers and socks right now, and I'm barefoot.
True.
Wow. I used to live in Japan. We'd take our shoes off when we came to the house. That's Japanese custom.
That was
But yeah.
custom, yeah.
Yeah.
They do that in Canada, though.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Learned something new.
Yeah.
Now, my thing, I agree with everybody what you said on finding your passion and
Yeah.
purpose in life. I can't really add too much to that except get out there and do it. For me, what you want to do is realize what you want to do, what's your calling. And I kind of knew I was meant to be a coach way back in high school, back in the 70s. And I kind of ran from it. And I ended up being a coach. There was nothing called private sector or coach in the private sector back then. I ended up being a coach in the private sector. So what you want to add to that is, look for your purpose in life. Why were you born? Everybody has a reason why they were born. Both groups here, we both believe in the law of attraction, and I'm really pleased to hear you guys talk about that. There's a reason why you're born, and you want to figure out, why was I here? What I tell people to do is get out a piece of paper and write down, my purpose in life is, and keep writing ideas until you hit the idea that will make you smile. And I know that I'm here to teach. Like when I was a kid, I would learn something, I'd teach other kids. Like I was taking karate in Japan, I would come back home and I would hang a stick from a string and try to push that guys, get him to dodge like some kind of cartoon crap. This is what you're blocking, yeah. And anyway, I always try to teach other people stuff. So I was born to teach. Like I'm going to start teaching fitness for people with sarcoidosis. That's what the illness that I contracted, and I'm going to start helping those guys. So I'm going to transfer what I do, what I love to do, which is teach, into something that will make a viable income. Now, Anthony Robbins said, find what you love to do, then find a way to help as many people with what you enjoy doing. For example, I'm talking to Jovina. She already has her own site, howtodressformen.com, but I wanted to go to work at places like Macy's as a stylist and get away from her job as office manager. And that way she'll be happy instead of, come home. Well, I'm sure Sarah, I don't know if you do what you love, but she comes home grumbling and talking about that bitch at work and all this other kind of crap.
Sometimes.
Get your finger out my face.
Yeah, you're definitely right, man. That's a good idea. I like that. Write down your goal, what you want, until you run across something that makes you smile. I like that. That's a good idea.
Okay, next question is from I am Dade Scott, Dade Scott. He writes, player/Tyrone Magnus question. Hey fellas, I'm 6'1" and muscular and handsome, but I'm very shy. Every time I have eye contact with a woman, they turn away very quickly. My friends say it's because they don't want me to know they were looking, and they are shy/embarrassed. I know you have said that women keep their eyes on you if they like you. That's a misunderstanding. That's not actually what I said. But, so is there something wrong with me? Oh, boy.
Well,
okay, Tyrone.
One thing I noticed with women, and you're trying to get eye contact, I noticed this. If you are sitting in a place and you see her, most women play the game of looking and look away. If you can get her to look and look away several times, you have her attention. She don't look back at you again, you don't have her attention. If she's walking towards you, one thing I noticed, what men will do, men will look a woman in her eye until she passes them. They'll make her uncomfortable and everything. But a woman, what I noticed is that, first of all, I've never been the guy to stare at you and, give you the laser beams in your eyes. I'll look at you, I look away, and I noticed when I would look back, the woman was still not looking at me. What I learned to do is wait till the last possible second. Women will look at you right as they pass you. I'm telling you, that happened to me so many times. They won't hold the gaze. They may, dart back and forth as they're walking towards you, but I did notice that, So if you're noticing that, if they're looking back, that's how women, look. And then some women will actually, I've read somewhere that you can hold a gaze for like 3 to 5 seconds. If you can hold her gaze from 3 to 5 seconds across a bar or somewhere, you got it.
Also, you said you were tall, muscular, and good-looking. They probably are like, oh,
nervous.
Shoot, I got caught checking them out. They might be intimidated by you.
They get just as nervous as we do.
They might be intimidated by you and say, oh, this hot guy just saw me checking him out. I'm not good enough for him and his attention. And if you don't pursue her and say hello or drop a hint or something, then you confirmed what she was thinking. Oh, I must not be hot enough for him. Or, yeah. He saw me looking, but he thinks he's better than me.
By the way, too, you got them if when they walk by, they're going like this. And they're like fixing their clothes and stuff like that. Yeah. I asked her about that. I said, what does that mean? She says, it usually means that we want to look good for you. It's subconscious. What's it called? Preening?
Preening, yeah. You fix your hair, or you might put lip gloss on, or you stand up straight, or you switch a little more in your walk to try to get his attention. Yeah. So if they're looking at you and looking away, it could be a few different reasons, but do what he said.
Don't look creepy. Don't look creepy though. Don't be trying to look
sorry,
like
I have a little
Dracula when
allergy thing going on right now.
That's all I got, player.
I agree with everything you said. I don't want to look creepy. Everything Sarah said, I agree with also. Jovina?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the women who are most submissive will do that. They'll look, then look away because they're like, oh my God, he caught me looking, or because they're shy, or because they just downright got caught.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she nailed it. Yeah. They both nailed it right on the head. But eye contact, what I've learned is like the introduction to the game. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys they refuse to accept that. That's the easy way to tell if a girl likes you. She'll make eye contact with you, and sometimes it's very furtive. You know, they look away because they're shy, or the bold ones. You know, you probably had this too, Tyrone. The bold ones will like stare you down.
Yeah,
Oh, that's it.
She'll tell me I go after what I want.
I'll walk right up to him and say something. That's how I am.
That's how bold she is.
But it's rare that you run into. I realize that it's rare that you run into women like that.
Real rare.
What was I gonna say? The eye contact thing. On the opposite end of that, and I've told him this before, he'll say something like, "That dude was all in your face." Like, we'll be walking in the mall. He's like, "You didn't see him?" "No, I didn't see him." Because if I'm not interested whatsoever, I'm not looking dudes in their face. So if they're at least looking at you and looking away, they were somewhat interested.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have looked at all.
So when I catch her looking, that means she was interested.
Look, we all grown adults. Some things are attractive. He looks too.
No, I don't.
Okay, yes.
I don't look at nothing. I got blinders on.
Yeah.
All I see is you, girl. That's it.
Like a horse. Got the blinders.
I'll give you that too. Yeah, we don't look there, Sarah. We don't look.
No, you never look.
No, it's not.
No, we don't look.
Now, he made the mistake of making a YouTube video about checking out asses. Said he checks out 20 to 30 asses a day. I was like, I knew it. I knew I caught you.
But I'm saying it's, you know what I'm talking about, Play. You look at women just because. It's like you're
'Cause it's
wired to look at
hardwired.
them. It could be an old fat lady bending down. You look for no reason. You might look away after you look, but we're like wired to look when we see your butt.
Well, let me tell you something. If I see a 6 foot tall, muscular, good looking dude, I'm hardwired to look at
You
that
ain't
dude.
hardwired to do it,
Yes,
from what I
I am.
understand. So now you're just voluntarily doing it.
Yeah, right.
So, anyways.
Okay, so next one is from Marzus. He writes, women in my small town don't give much eye contact, which I got to call on some bullshit. That's some bullshit. A lot of guys say that. Anyway, let me continue. If any, at all the nightclubs, good girl types, even good girls make it. But anyway, but if you just walk to them, introduce yourself, which is okay, they can be hell of cooperative and nice, or so it seems. A little hoe chasing works best here. What's your experience on that? You ever just walked up to girls there, Tyrone, with no eye contact and all that kind of stuff?
Never. I was always the guy who, I never liked rejection, and a lot of guys learn to deal with it, but I always wanted to know before I said something to you. So if I did get your eye contact, like we talked previously, if I got those dark, the stares, you're staring at me like that, or if you start talking to me, hey, yeah. But I don't like taking that chance because it's almost like she's like, if I didn't look at you, I didn't call you over here.
I'd be freaked out. If a dude just walked up to me and I had no eye contact with him whatsoever, I'd be like, creepy ass stranger just hi, how you doing? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you need to make some sort of eye contact.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the message that I've been trying to spread on the internet since 2002, and most of the guys, they tend to reject it, and they got to find it the hard way. That's why I don't know if you're aware of the whole pickup art industry and all that, what they call PUA.
No.
They were teaching guys to run up in the streets with these fake stories and fake openers and whole robotic game. Just keep running up on girl after girl. It was a numbers game, the whole number system. And eventually, I guess, if they're nice looking enough, they might catch a girl. But I'm trying to teach guys to just go by eye contact. That's why you got to work on your confidence, work on your way you dress, the way you present yourself, so that you give some girl something to look at.
Can I just make a comment on the whole numbers game thing? I was literally in the club once, and there was this guy going from girl to girl to girl, just getting struck out, right? Then he comes up to me, and I said, I just saw you hit on 5 other girls. Why would you think that I would want to be 5th and 6th pickings? Like, you have to be careful when you're out there, especially at a club, who you're going up to and hitting on. Because if you're just hitting on girl after girl after girl, you could find the right one who would have been interested if you hadn't just because to me, it was all you're trying to do is get some ass. That's all you're trying to do. And whoever said yes, that's who you were going to go with.
Now, hold on 1 second. I want you to ever interrupt Player Supreme again. You understand? That's a man talking.
Shut up, Rome.
Sorry about that, brother. She won't get out of pocket again.
I agree, Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like these guys always heard of some guy that did that. They don't know anybody personally, but they heard of some guy that did that.
Some guy.
Well, you're not some guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's getting rejected because you're wasting your time jumping around from one girl to the next when you could take a few minutes to just really pay attention. Okay, who's looking at me? Who's noticing
Who's looking at me? Exactly.
She hit the nail on the head. See, we vibe.
Heartache, a lot of time.
Right.
Now, my experience is that, like Tyrone, most of mine have always been by eye contact. There were a couple of times where I was on the floor and I just, turned the girl around, started dancing with her. And I only had one girl say, "You're kind of aggressive, ain't you?" But you still dance with me. But, I go by eye contact because, like Tyrone, I don't like rejection either. I don't want to have to swim upstream just to get laid. I'd rather, float downstream by letting the girl choose up. It's too much work. I like to run it like a business. Keep it energy proficient, so to speak. I don't waste my time. That dancing,
Run it like a business. He's efficient. One thing I used to do, I would go up in the club and I would scan the area and I would look for what I liked. And then once I saw what I liked, whether it had been 2, 3, or 4 of them or just one, I'd see if I could get the eye contact. If I did, then my plan started to unfold for the night. If not, so be it.
You start to spin your web.
And the other thing that Tyrone lacks is desperation. Tyrone is not desperate. So you see how he got like real pennies with the feathers puffed up?
I know what she's talking about. No, don't look desperate.
Don't be desperate. So you heard what he said. He said, if I find 4 or 1 and they catch eye contact and it works out, great. And if not, so be it. It's not the end of the world for him if what he wanted that night didn't work out. And that's why he has so many friends, because he really approaches everyone, male or female, as a friend. And if it turns into something else, it turns into something else. Now, he hasn't done that in a long time because we've been together 7 years, but I would assume he still knows how to practice.
It's like a bicycle. You never learn.
That's right.
Like I tell people, if I would get back in the game, I'd lose weight and get myself presentable again and jump back in. So, but hopefully that never happens to us. As far as eye contact, though, there was something else I was going to say, and I kind of lost train of thought. You want to add something to that?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it.
To me, it's like eye contact is the biggest thing. It opens the door, and like Tyrone does, he makes eye contact with the girls. I was doing the same thing. I'd walk in.
It's common sense. Yeah, a lot of it is common sense.
Mm-hmm. And for us here it is being African American. I was going to upscale Caucasian type clubs where there was only a couple of blacks in these days, and if the too many blacks came in, they was changing music. You ever experienced that?
Yes. All the time at this club by us.
They changed the music so that we leave.
You know what? And we actually spoke to somebody that worked there, and he said that the manager or the owner of the club said if you see too many minorities come in, you switch it to house music. So it's not just paranoia.
Oh yeah. My buddy was a DJ also. He told me the same thing. He's been he gets the signal from the manager.
Yeah, they do what they're told.
They
want to keep their jobs.
So dating outside of our race, it's not not every Caucasian girl wants to go out with an African American man. You and Sarah are special kind of women. You date, you're willing to date outside your race, try other races. I found that coming up in the late 70s, 80s, I've had girls pulled away from me, scolded for dancing with me, and they're not 3 feet away, because Caucasian women, they want to have Caucasian babies and live, that life. And I know what you have to go through with your family there, Sarah, because I would the same thing with Jovina's father, who's, they're all from Portugal, and Portuguese can be really pretty racist also. but it's people want to have children that look like themselves, and I understood that going into the game. So I was aware that running up on all these Caucasian girls that I was trying to date outside my race, wasn't necessarily the best thing. So I started looking for the ones that were feeling me, that were willing to go to the dark side of the force, so to speak. And that's what I wanted to add to that. It's different for us minorities because not every Caucasian girl wants to, have an African American baby, half biracial baby.
True.
And that's what they put up with. They have to put with their families, their cousins, their church. They got to, drag that kid around. And if they try to get back into the, the dating game, bam, it's right there. So it's always an obstacle. So I understood that, and I came from that point of view. I rather understand than be, hard-headed and start hating girls for that. Let's see. Next was, have you ever met women on the streets? Let's say, for example, in the week evenings, you were strolling around the city or the grocery store, daytime, or can you give some advice or ideas on the topic? What does, and we'll get to the last question in a second. So, any, what they call day game there, Tyrone? Street game?
I've
These
actually,
nerds got all kind of names for game,
I've never done day game before, unless you count in the gym. I've, talked to a few girls in the gym, and it's always started with something stupid, like me finishing a set. Woo! How you doing? And then you just start talking. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't have any day. I've not practiced day game meeting people in grocery stores or anything like that. I ain't got nothing for you on that.
I'm a fan of day game. I like it. I think that you can find people that have the same interests as you. If you're going out to a book club, meet somebody at your book club because you automatically have something in common.
Well, she's a victim of day game. I mean, she's a woman, so she's been approached.
Well, that's true too. I mean,
by guys,
That's true. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with day game as long as you do it right. If you're just being creepy about it, stalking a woman in the mall or something like.
Like, put it this way. So you know why I don't have day game as far as like a grocery store go. Like for example, if she's maybe in the meats section, I just can't think of any way to come up to her and say, like, well, you like organic beef, or what's the best? Like, I just feel like that. It's saying you trying to talk to me.
I'll tell you this.
I'll tell you, you know what I did one time with an older woman, and I wasn't trying to get at her, but I was like, you know what? If she was younger, I could have started something. Like, I was actually knocking on the watermelons. I was trying to pick out a watermelon, and that sounds stereotypical. No, Tyrone looking for a watermelon. But anyway, I asked this older white lady. I said, "What's the sound you're supposed to listen for?" And she told me. And I was earnest. I was serious. Now, because I was serious, I could have led that into something else. I think that'd be good, day game. Honestly, asking a question and then leading into something else.
I was at a grocery store in California, and it was a girls' trip, and we had picked up some alcohol in the grocery store. And there were a couple, well, it was just one. There was a cute military guy standing behind us. And I had said something to him about, I was talking to her about what drinks we were going to make or whatever, and he interjected and said something about the different types of drinks that you could make with the alcohol, and we just started talking there, and I said, it's crazy that you can buy alcohol in the grocery store in California, and he said, oh, where are you staying? And that's how it kind of, we hung out that week with that group of guys.
You know what, now that if you're going to, in my opinion, even though I'm not a master of day game, if you're in line somewhere, just talk about whatever you're there for. If you're in the line for a concert, I couldn't wait to get to this concert. I paid this much for these tickets. You know what I'm saying? And she might say, I know, I've been waiting to see this too. And then you got something to talk about in common.
Yeah.
Go ahead, player.
Jovina, you want to?
Yeah, I have a different take on day game because I see it from my perspective mostly, but I know that a lot of women, when they're out and about in the daytime, they're running errands between time if they're at work. You know, maybe they have a real short lunch hour, for example. I know I do this. I go to the bank sometimes when I have to during my lunch hour. Last thing I want is some guy trying to hit on me, right? I don't have that kind of time. My time is my time.
I have never in my life understood that. I'm going to tell you why. I had a friend that was single forever. She wasn't bad looking either, especially she did a few things she'd be bad. But she's like, Tyrone, I ain't got no time for this. I got to pick up this for my son. I'm like, but you don't know. This man could be your soulmate, approaching you properly, cordially, with a good smile, a good job, everything. And you like, nah, I ain't got no time for it. I've never understood that. I'm not coming down on you because you got a good man with you right now, but I'm just saying, why lose the opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Can you answer that for me? Like,
yeah, I feel that, but you know, you don't know what the woman's situation. That's where the eye contact thing comes in real handy. That's when you have to really notice extra hard the eye contact. Because I know it's no different now than when I was single. When I was single, it was the same thing. I'm off during the day. I'm rushing around trying to get stuff done. I don't want that kind of thing going on during the day because I don't have time for it. That's why I went to the clubs.
I get it. That makes sense. So you follow the eye contact rule. And if she's busy, she ain't going to give you eye contact anyway. So leave her alone.
And also, if you're trying to kick day game, so see, you got two different women here, right? Okay. If I was single and maybe I'm running errands and this gorgeous man comes up to me and he starts talking day game, I might not have a problem with it. Jovina might because she's busy, she's got stuff to do.
I'm always in a rush.
So you have to see which type of woman you're dealing with. If Jovina is going, if you make small talk and you know, you ask her a question and she gives you a one-word answer and she looks away, she's not interested. She's busy. Leave her alone. Right. If you give me a question, or she's taken, yeah. Or if you give me the same question and I start a conversation with you, voluntarily engaging with you, then that's the go. That's the green light. But you have to read the signals that are being sent, including the eye contact.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree. My experience with day game was, yes, I've met girls in the daytime, bookstores, was that coffee shop?
Coffee shop.
Yeah. No, which one was it? What's that big coffee shop that I can't stand?
Starbucks.
Starbucks, yeah. Yeah, you know, I got Starbucks and practice there too, stuff like that, or meet girls there. But like Tyrone, the best place is the nightclub.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that women, the worst place for me is the mall because women, it's like they need retail therapy first.
They're on a mission.
You can't get in the way.
I know I am.
Yeah, they're on a mission. You can't step between them and a new pair of shoes.
That's true. Unless you're buying the shoes. Unless you're buying the shoes for us, leave us alone.
You ever see women fight over a new pair of shoes? Yeah, no, don't get between that. So, but if they got bags in their hands, then they've been satisfied. They got a satisfied.
Yeah. If they're walking out of the mall,
you can tell they're walking slower. They're taking their time. They're more relaxed.
Yeah.
But my free time, I'm a father, and I was always spending my free time with my kids. If I wasn't, I've liking different pies. There was my training business. There was my family business. Then there was my pie for my my game or whatever.
Pie for pie.
And running to the malls for me, I can't stand malls. So that's just not a place for me.
Yeah. I drag him along sometimes, but he just hates it. He finds a place to sit, and that's it.
I read. Well, actually, my husband.
Very good about shopping with me. I appreciate that about him. He helps me pick out outfits. He tells me what looks good, what's see-through, and what's not.
He'll do that sometimes. Yeah,
I'll do that too.
He will.
You know what?
I want to look for me. It's all about me.
Of course, it's got to be all about him. But then, of course, I have the same taste as you because that's, I think, what drew you to me was my style too.
Actually,
you kind of knew.
I thought she was a bitch when I
Yeah,
first saw her.
that's true. I was surprised.
I thought she stuck up. I wasn't gonna say shit to
I
her.
was surprised when he said that because I had no idea I came across that way. But
You were
Well,
probably
you know-
too busy to talk to him.
well,
Well, you know how us brothers we like a girl with the derriere, and I walked to the club. That guy trying to grab her butt.
yeah, it was.
So she had that bitch shield up.
It was a problem.
Yeah, it was a real problem. And I'd seen her before. I didn't really pay her that much attention, but I see guys, trying to talk to her, and she always had her mouth, her face up there when she walked. Like. She was
I figured if
too
I
good.
ignore them, maybe they'll just
Yeah.
ignore me. But no,
Yeah,
didn't
no, they
happen.
don't.
They're gonna play hard to get, huh?
They don't know the eye contact rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next question is, what do women think of one-night stands in generally?
Wow.
I guess it goes to Sarah.
I don't do them. I don't do them. And, the whole, gosh, when you're approached by a guy and all they want to do is take you home and get some, I'm not interested in that. My stuff is too valuable for that, okay? I have a lot more to offer you than just ass. And if that's all you want, then go to someone else. That's how I feel about it. Do I think any less of girls that have one-night stands? If you have them once in a while, okay, but if you're making a habit of it, unfortunately, we live in a society that has a double standard on that, and you are going to be labeled as a hoe. Guys can do it all day, all night, and they're not labeled as a hoe. No, it is not fair, but that's how it is. So if you want to have any credibility out on the street, don't do them, or don't do them that often, because you're going to get labeled. Word gets around. I've had some I don't want to call it close encounters, but there's been times where I met a dude, I might have made out with him that night or whatever, but never full sex on the first date.
One thing I know women will do is that they might want to, just like a guy might want to the first night, right?
Yeah, it's not that you don't want to.
Animally attracted to each other, right? What they'll do is, if the dude does them first, they'll do them back if it's oral sex. I do know they will do that. Say it ain't true.
It can be true.
Girls do that.
It can
That's
be.
true, they do. Some girls, though, you know what, they'll, without the guy even doing them first, they'll go right down on the dude in the parking lot, in the car, and I'm telling you
And that
right
dude
now,
is thinking, this girl's a hoe.
I'm not calling
I'm
you
not
back.
calling her wife.
He might, if he think he really scored, like, oh my God, I can't believe this girl looks so good, she's going down. He think he can't get no better. He might call you the next day, but he's running that risk in the back of his mind. He's still gonna think, how many other dudes she did
How
this
many other
to?
dudes has she done this to, and how many more is she willing to do it to? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you just... it sucks that it's a double standard world, but you just kind of have to go by those rules. So.
What y'all think?
You want to add to that?
Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of one-night stands. Am I guilty of it? Yes. But that's only...
Really?
Well,
Oh, fuck, I'm
it wasn't,
God damn
it
it.
wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. I was married for a long... Before he came along, I was single for like about, 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Almost 4 years. I had been married for a long time. So when I got out of the marriage, I wasn't wanting to jump into a relationship per se. I was looking for one-night stands, but I wasn't looking for a relationship. So I was looking, I wanted to maybe date and see somebody here and there, but not serious. So I did fall into a one-night stand before, not intentional. I didn't feel very good after the fact. So, yeah, it's not my thing. So for me, it's a personal preference. I don't personally like it.
Yeah.
And like Sarah said, you get labeled, she's a hoe, she's easy, she's a hoe, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. It's not my thing.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
I guess what they're equating one-night stands is sleeping on the first date, or the first night.
Well, one-night stand is you hit it and quit it.
That's what I thought.
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Think of a one-night stand.
Yeah.
They have to be a little specific.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the first
Yeah.
date, though?
I'm guilty of that, getting quitted a few times, but yeah, actually a lot. But because something happened in the bedroom, where we could make a good connection. I like to try girls out before I get in a relationship. See, that's me. And if they're not, what I like in bed, yeah, I ain't calling you back. Shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can work out your problems. Ain't my job.
Yeah, but some guys are out there just looking for a one-night thing, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, these PUAs, they have this thing where they do bathroom sex. So they bone a girl in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's the most disgusting thing to me.
Like, hey,
that's disgusting.
People
Yeah,
take a dump in there. Ugh.
I know. I've heard that. That's not. No, that's not cool.
Nah.
No,
So
not at all.
we're all in favor. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I haven't looked for one night stands. I've done it a few times, but because I didn't like the connection.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want a good fit in the bedroom, they can't fit in my life. That's where.
But you know what? That's the reality of it, though, right? I mean, if they're just completely horrible, I mean, do you really want to keep doing that?
Well, she was with someone for a little bit who,
2 months.
in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways, was what she wanted, but he lacked severely in that area. And
I was willing to put up with it because he had everything else, but it only lasted 2 months, and I don't know.
Wow, I thought y'all were together longer than that.
I don't know how much longer it would have lasted, being that unsatisfied in the.
I take that back then, because that was wow. Huh. I thought they were together longer than that.
We knew each other a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta have the connection there.
I mean, here's the thing. Play Supreme, he ain't comfortable with if the sex don't work. I think it's kind of rare that you wait it out and it gets that much better.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, some people be like, nah, it'll get better as time goes. And that can be true. I'm just saying.
It's not going to go from crappy to mind-blowing, though.
Right. It ain't going to go from crappy to mind-blowing. So,
yeah.
You got it. You don't.
Well, for me, in those situations, there's usually something that, women have a way of camouflaging themselves with their bodies. The clothes you guys wear, they don't ask. They're just
like the damn predator. Like the damn predator. Like, you don't know who you took home.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is true.
Just like that movie. What was it? The guys that did In Living Color. The brother had a movie out where he took a girl home and she took her hair off, wasn't really hair. She took her bra off, took her leg off. Yeah.
There was a Fresh Prince episode like that.
Well, yeah,
they got locked in the basement, and he popped off. She popped off her nails, took off her hair, and he's like,
yeah. You're right about that.
Fortunately, some of us can't help it, but we can't hide what we've got. It's just there.
Yeah. But is that, and also a matter of, I like women that are real passionate. They have a lot of passion, and if they're kind of like a stonefish, I don't want to teach that and try to open it up. That's just too much work.
Cold fish, you mean?
Yeah, cold fish. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Hang-ups, the girls have been.
Had a cold fish before. It wasn't me.
I dealt with a dead fish, and she looked good. She was exotic. She had an accent. She was nice. I got her home. I was like, I can't believe this. Now, the first time was good just because it was new. It was new sex. But afterwards, the second, third, fourth time, I was like, what? And wanted to give oral like she didn't want to give,
Mm-hmm.
It went like that one time when I asked. I was like, I gotta get rid of her. So I did.
She gotta go. Gotta go.
Yep.
The one way to.
Yep. I had this similar situation. This girl, she was married to a doctor who was in Greece, and she was real exotic. She had been a ballerina, and it was like a piece of wood. Like coming out of wood.
A piece of wood.
She's a piece of wood. See, you said she was a ballerina. You got all excited.
All the ballerinas can't be like that.
Oh, shut up.
She has some issues. I don't know what it was. I didn't stick around long to find out.
A lot of it is. A lot of women that, when they're like that, there's usually something that has happened to them to make them be that way.
Yeah. And for a long time in my life, I always attracted women that had been sexually abused. One girl, she was, God, it's a tragedy. She was raped by American Indians for 48 hours, and then her dad was doing her, and another one, her stepfather, and it just went on. It wasn't until I did the healing on myself.
What kind of energy were you putting out?
Yeah.
What were you attracting? That's crazy.
Wow.
Abuse, like attracts alike, and in my, you probably had the same situation. Mom and that extension cord, remember that? You get the extension cord, Tyrone?
Well, I never had the extension cord, but I've had other things.
Yeah. So I was kind of like an abuse. I'm the guy that like my dad, who was a player, so I had to pay for his stuff, and I got the extension cord beatings and the verbal shit. So I guess once I did the healing on that, I stopped attracting women that were like that in my life. Because I kept getting, one after another. What the hell's going on here? Ain't there normal women out there?
Yeah.
I was dating originally from girls who were aerobic instructors and dance instructors and all that kind of stuff. I finally got tired of over-farming my business, so I started going to the nightclubs, and it's still the same thing, like one after another. Okay, let's see. We have one more that we can talk about, and this is from a brother who should be here right now. Hey, Supremo, I heard your audio file you did on me about learning to sell myself. It was pretty funny. I was laughing during the whole show. The reason I wrote in the third person, this brother, he writes, MVP does POF. MVP unhappy. Like the Hulk. So it's not that I'm going Hulk all over ZenMac. Anyway, my question is, you would say in your previous shows you had chicks give you their number without you even asking for it when it came to online dating, yeah? Also, actually, I showed them. Also, how can they come over your, people don't write very well. Come over your crib the same night you would meet a chick at a club. That's so easy. And how would you go over theirs the same night? Same way. Now, with that being said, well, let's stop with that one. How do you get a girl to come home with you the same night?
Well, if you want somebody like us,
Doom will be burning the side of your head.
Yeah.
In my experience, I've literally never took a girl home the same night because I was always looking at I was always looking for a girlfriend, and I was always looking for a good girl. But have I ran into girls that would went home with me the same night? Yeah. And you kind of, for me, you can feel them out rather quickly at the bar. They're a little more extra touchy-feely than the normal girl that would be flirting with you. She's dancing extra raw. She might ask you, what are you doing after this? Or if you ask her, what are you doing after this?
I want to get out of here.
Yeah, let's go to the diner. You can soften her up a little bit extra there. Or if she say, what you doing after this? And you say, well, I'm just going to go home. Maybe I'll drink a little bit more, kick back. And she's kind of like smiling or looking at you after you answer that. She's going to come with you. Like, you want to come with me? You know what I mean? That's what I got with it. I didn't make a habit of bringing girls back. I've never done it.
But keep in mind, just like we answered a couple questions ago, if you want wife material, such as Jovina and myself, you're not going to be taking them home that night because good girls, in general, don't do that. Now, could she be so animalistically attracted to you that she just has to do you that night and she turns into a good girlfriend? Yeah, that could happen.
Hoes are hard to turn into a housewife if that's what you're trying to do. They can turn into them, but a lot of times brothers can't deal with that past.
I mean, it sounds like you're just looking to run through them. So, I mean, but keep in mind that if you're looking for a girlfriend, that's not the best approach to take.
Yep.
I forgot to mention the brother's Cuban. He's a young guy, so yeah, he wants to be a player. And I'll throw my input on there. I have never taken a girl home the first night. Okay.
Yes, I gotta know you.
Nice.
Yeah, she saw me at the club.
Oh yeah.
Before we met, yeah. When like Tyrone said, they're touchy-feely. You get a feeling about them, and when I say, my canned line was, let's hook up. or let's go back to my place. If she was afraid to go back to my place, then I say, well, how do we go back to your place? Or if she was a designated driver, I always pull out my phone and gave him my phone.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the dance, we're dancing, we're getting off, and I would take out my phone, just hand it to him. I wouldn't ask for it because the girls knew what you want to do anyway.
That's
So
obvious.
the music's always loud, so just hand the phone, and they put it in there. And if they had to be the designated driver, often I would call them. I always left them a message when I left the club, but I didn't leave with them. It was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to hearing from you. I want you to give me a call when you get this message. They get home, they call me back, and we get talking. And a lot of times they don't want to be a hoe in front of their girlfriends, but they do want to go home. They don't want to be seen as that. Yeah, they don't want to be seen as that. They still want to keep that good girl image, but around the girlfriend's back, they'll sneak on over to my place or open the door for me to come in at 3 in the morning or whatever. So it's a matter of have the balls to ask what are you doing? Because some girls, they want to have sex, and they also, if they meet someone they really like, they don't want to let it go. Now,
because they know what could happen.
I don't want to have nothing to do with good girls. Like, get your good girl ass out of here. I was looking for the freaks. The girls that were, I would have some fun. I'd been married myself. I was out in the dating world, and like Jovina, I was, boys want to have fun too. So I was out there,
Yeah, well, we met at a different time in our lives too. We were, again, we were older. We were going through that stage where we did not want to be in a relationship, and we're just looking just to have some fun. And I had to get it out of my system because I was married for so long. So, but
arranged marriage, yeah.
But
well, really?
But,
wow.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that.
Right.
I never went to the club alone. I always went with the girl.
Always.
And we always took our responsibility seriously. We went together. We came home together, and that's how it was. If we wanted to hook up with somebody, we always made other plans later on or for another day. But honestly, most women don't feel comfortable going home with someone or having someone come to their home the first time. Because it's a safety thing. You don't know this person.
You don't know them.
You want to know something about them, that they're not some creepy psycho killer, serial killer, that kind of thing. You want to be safe about it. So
I got into a situation once when I was much younger. I might have been 20 or 21. And I was naive, not thinking, okay, he offered, go back, let's hang out, blah, blah, blah. I'm not thinking this dude wants to have sex with me, right? Stupid. I know, he's laughing at me.
That is naive. Yeah, go ahead.
And we go back to his place, and things are starting to move a little too fast, and I got really scared. I was actually shaking. Like, I'm like, oh, my God, this guy could rape me. Nobody even knows where I am. And fortunately for me, he was a nice guy, and he took me back. Because he was just like, this girl is really scared. Like, I'm not going to do this, But I lucked out in that situation, and from that point on, I realized how dangerous it really could be.
Yeah.
Sleeping around or whatever, even though I didn't have any intentions of sleeping with him that night. So, girls, you got to be careful. There are crazies out there.
I'm just going to go to his house and play Yahtzee. That's it. That's all he wanted.
Shut up, dude.
Okay.
The thing is, you don't know what guys are going to take no for an answer and which ones are. So you have to be really careful.
I was a club dancer at one time. There was a club called America Live, and I got in for free. They had a stage for it and all that kind of shit. And we took over the speaker boxes. There was a group of us, yeah. And that's when I did most of my damage out there. Because girls, when you're dancing up there and you're dancing all sexual and shit, they want to get up there and they get turned on and they want to go home. They want to see, what the dancer is like, and they were willing to risk it.
First time we met, that's what she said. When I got done dancing with her, she was like, "You got me ready to do something," and I was like, "What? Watch TV?" She was like, "Ha ha ha ha!" Got me that Tommy laugh. Ha 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 ha! Nah, she didn't want to watch TV. Yeah, so we.
But we still didn't that
still
night.
Didn't do
we
nothing.
still didn't.
She was being bad. She had a boyfriend, and she was dancing a little bit too nasty with somebody she ain't now.
And now my face was hot.
I licked the sweat off the back of her neck when we was dancing. I think that's what got her.
Yep.
I was wrong for that.
He was.
I was wrong.
He was wrong.
I didn't know she had a man.
Don't do that. Oh, he was dating somebody at the time too, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Hey, matter of fact, you know what it was, and I'll be honest with this, and I did a video about this. She actually catfished me. We were supposed to meet and everything, and we were kind of online as like, yo, look, all right, I'm gonna be with you, you're gonna be with me. But then I was like, you know what? This girl's lying to me. So when I met her, I was just like, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll find out when I find out. But I highly doubt that this girl is who she says she is. And I was right.
Wow.
Yeah, we can do a whole catfish episode one day if you want. You know what I mean?
That's fun. That's really cool. Let's see. Now, with that being said, what kind of game are you spitting to chicks that makes her want to give her number on online dating, for example, or that makes her want to come over to your crib? Are you talking sexually to her? Are you talking emotionally to her? Yes, yes, yes. What words or topics do you say and talk to get chicks to want to throw herself to you like that? This part I have to answer because have you done online dating?
I've done online.
Have you,
dating.
Okay.
You talking
Have
to me,
you
right?
pulled girls? Okay. Well, yeah. You go ahead and answer that then.
Okay. When I did the online, I was myself. I was the guy that was really shy and nervous in front of girls. So the internet was perfect. And I mean, I got talked to several girls at the same time online because I could be myself, just typing away. I used my humor, and because I made them laugh, so I got so many LOLs in the messenger that they wanted to talk to me, on the phone. So that's how I did it, with my humor. I used humor. And then once I found out what they loved, what their interests were, all I did was ask them questions and ask more. Because what do women love to do more than anything else? They love to talk, and they love to talk about themselves. Men like to do it too. I'm not saying women is vain. I'm just saying, hey, you're your own favorite subject, right? So once you can get them talking about themselves, and if you pique their interest, they're going to hand that number over. Like sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'm like, man, she gave me the number already. Okay, I'll call you. You know what I mean? So that's how I did.
Yeah. Same here. I did the same thing. I use humor. I have this concept where I tell my guys to get their life story. That means, if she's 20 years of age, she's got 20 years of life you can actually talk about and delve into. Really pay attention to what they're saying. Stick to one question at a time. Delve into that question and find out how much you care about it. So I do that. I delve into their emotional stuff. I would delve into the sexual stuff too. I use my animal color water game on them. In fact, you guys want to play it?
Water game.
Okay.
Animal color. We did that before. What's your favorite?
Teach this to you.
What's your
Oh,
favorite
you
color?
know that game where you?
We
you
shared
know the game?
3 out of 4 answers correct. Isn't that crazy?
All right.
Wow.
It's right. You asked what if you could be an animal. What animal would it be?
What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite
Well,
color?
wait. Hold on. What's your favorite animal?
What's
No.
your favorite color?
No.
Favorite body of water? And if you were stuck in a room for the rest of your life,
Oh,
what
yeah.
would it be like?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And 3 adjectives to describe each one. I'm the one who taught you the thing.
Whoa. Here's one thing that she does, Player Supreme. She swears that she's introduced me to stuff. I was giving this quiz to her 7 years before I met her. The water and the animal one I was doing. And
Whatever.
yeah. Like,
Anyway.
an ex-girlfriend actually introduced me to chocolate chip pancakes. She swears she was the one to do it. I'm
It
like,
was
babe, it wasn't you. Like, what is wrong with you?
Wow.
Yeah, you get so
That's
much
it. That's
personality with that, and they love that game. They love it, right?
I love it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've used that game since I was 22. A buddy of mine did on me. He was in Take a Psych class, and I used actually, I got in the game at 27, but I started using it shortly after that. And girls love it.
You know that.
So what was your favorite body of water, Sarah?
Waterfall, and his
Waterfall.
was too. And I think I said something like powerful.
Holy shit!
Hers too.
Ah!
I think I said something like powerful, loud, and beautiful, or something like that.
Definitely loud.
So creepy.
Waterfall too, though.
Yep.
And our favorite animals were both tigers.
Yeah.
Oh my
I picked
God.
black as my favorite color because it was sexy,
I thought at the
sophisticated.
time you chose red. I thought we shared
No,
three
no,
out of
that was
four.
a different test. It's always been black. Black, tiger, waterfall, and you got to do the room. Did you do that one? If you had to spend the rest of your life in a room, what would it be like?
Three
adjectives. And that's what you think heaven is like. That's the last one that I.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one part of yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Waterfall. You know, do your neighbors ever complain about you too?
No. It ain't about us two. It's about us one.
Shut up.
They're going to be complaining. But my brother said to me one day, because me and him used to live together, he comes to me and he says,
Do I need to leave the screen for
That's what he
this?
said.
It's
He
red.
he's like, yo, man, look, I ain't trying to take nothing from you. But is it really like that, man? And I said, sometimes I don't know. I think
Wow.
it could be just her. She's just vocal like that. Because I got a buddy who dated this woman, and he said, Ty, sometimes I'm doing, and I'm just like, I'm telling her, put a pillow over your face. Like, sometimes, I'll admit it, sometimes I'm doing just regular moves, and I'm just like, wow,
Shut up.
really?
All right, enough.
I'm sorry.
Makes me like. Did you ever see the movie Porky's?
I've never seen that. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid, and I never watched it when I got older. I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah.
When the scene where he goes upstairs with the cheerleader and he's got to put the jockstrap in her mouth. Think of
She
this.
was a PE teacher, female PE
Yeah.
teacher or something.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, wow.
Moving on. He's been
Talk-
vocal a few times too, so
Whatever.
it ain't just me.
I'll tell you.
I'm not a one.
I can make him vocalize when I
I'll
want
tell
to.
you something
now.
kind of funny. Our dog, he's closest to me. One time I was vocal, and he came scratching and whining at the door because he thought I was hurt.
Thought I killed him.
He was so scared and worried about me. I was like, I'm okay. The snow would attack.
You guys fit together, that's for sure. Oh Lord, have mercy. Okay, listen.
Good.
As for my conversation skills, I think it's good, but maybe I'm wrong. Pretty much when I talk to a chica, I ask questions such as, where are you from? Where are your parents from? What's your passion life? What goals do you have to do? What goals do you have set in becoming in life? What relaxes you? What foods you like to eat? Yeah, traditional questions. So pretty much I ask life story. Not really. Those are actually like, little questions.
Depends if it fits into the conversation that you're having.
Yeah. But again, I'd like to know, what is it that you talk about with a girl, I'm calling a girl, it's a chick, that gets her into you? I want to grow my game to the level if I'm talking to a girl online, she gives me her number without me even having to ask for it. So please help me out. Let me know what's up. Okay. So we're still talking about, conversation, and a lot of it, it's your own personality. I found when you develop a certain kind of personality that girls like, and you find the right match for that personality, it flows naturally.
It's your aura.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, like with girls, I talk to girls who slightly into that BDSM stuff, so I talk a different way. I present myself as, more of the dominant, the dom type that they're looking for. I've talked to a few of those. I don't like that stuff.
I was told by a woman that was into that. She said, "You're a dom." And I thought she was always saying you're a Don Juan. But no, she said, "No, you're a dom. And once you find a woman that's a sub, you're gonna fall in love with her." Yeah.
No, I can tell you for sure, you don't. You get tired of them.
You get tired of subs? Really?
You get tired of them. Yeah. You know, like I see the reaction between you and Sarah, and it's a good interaction. She challenged you sometimes. You know, the stuff
I'm
don't
half and
challenge you.
half. I can be sub when I want to, and I
Yeah,
can be
she's
dom
half
when
and
I
half.
want
She
to.
is.
So
She don't
So
dominate.
who does?
I do in certain ways. Yes, I do.
You better calm down. You know what I mean? Play in front of players for friends. You better chill.
Afterwards, she gets that little crop and spanks him.
we don't do no spanking and props and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Like, I refuse to be sub. I'm only sub during one thing, and I'm sure you can figure it out where the man is really not in control of the act.
Oh yeah.
From sub.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. Let's see.
YouTube doesn't need to know everything now.
That was the last question. So we now open up to we have one actually. The other fella fled. Matthew, go ahead and unmute your mic, and if you have questions for us, go ahead and ask.
Hold on. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Now, just so you know, I'm shivering here because I'm outside. It's not that I'm like afraid or something. If you see me, over here, it's cold here on the East Coast.
No problem.
But and I have my paper, which I remember. I wrote down a few things which flew away, but I know what I was going to say. Now, the last while I've really done a lot in my life. Like I worked in a sales job and I overcame a lot there. Phone calls and this and that. And I started a business a month ago, repairing old gaming systems and selling them. And I'm working on a web page and this and that. And I've noticed a few things though about myself that, just to see what you guys think. The first one was that, when I was a kid, I also didn't have the greatest childhood, and I haven't spoken to my mother in a while. Let's just say I'm not going to get into that on here. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, when you go on a date or something, you're talking, and I don't know how, if they ask me about that, to spin it in a positive way, where, like, oh, you're close with your mother, and I feel like that's a red flag for a lot of girls, and I was just wondering if, either of you had any idea how I could say it better, or somehow twist it to some kind of positive, or should I somehow deflect it and not say anything at all?
Okay.
If it were me, I'm trying to think how I would handle that, because he did bring up a good point when him saying that sometimes that's a big thing with girls. They want you to have a good relationship with your mother. I mean, you could say something like, me and my mother actually have kind of a complex relationship. I'll tell you that about that sometime the closer we get.
Okay.
I think that might be good to do. That way they kind of say, okay, things are a little bit different. Maybe things are a little sensitive. But the girl at the same time is going to respond to how you treat her. Mm-hmm. Okay? So the way you're treating her, women believe, is how you treat your mother. So treat her well, and I think she's not going to be like, oh, God, he doesn't love his mother, or they don't get along, I can't get along. It's not that grave of a situation.
I'll tell you from a female perspective, if you gave me the answer that he just gave, I would say, okay, there might be some complications in there, but he told me that he would be willing to open up to me the further things got along. So that's dropping that hint that, the closer we get in trust, the more, you'll let me in. And women are usually intrigued by things like that. We want to nurture, we want to help, things like that. So
they love being the one that got you to open up. So yeah.
And then eventually, if 3 or 4 months down the road you start to explain your relationship with your mother a little bit, she's probably going to sympathize with you, especially if you've been treating her really well all along.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Now, question number 2, and the last question, because I only had 2. I've noticed, because I've become a lot more, outgoing in different things in a lot of ways, but if someone confronts me directly, I know how to deal with it. Especially I'm not going to be intimidated by another guy with some kind of a conflict situation or anyone really. but I don't think I'm that great at dealing with something like a passive-aggressive kind of, like, when you're tested in little ways that are not that direct but very subtle. And I feel like I either go too far, not crazy too far, like I hear from some of the comments that Supreme's had, but a little bit too much or a little bit too little, and I can't find that. If you follow what I'm saying, like
I kind of know what you're saying. Well, people don't come at you face to face, but they kind of do things to kind of pick, prod, and poke at you.
exactly.
One thing that I do is I've learned to ignore and stay confident. Not arrogant, but stay confident. Because you let them know that they're not bothering you. I do that with trolls. I don't even respond to trolls anymore. I'm just like, you know what, I'm ignoring you. The fact that they know they can't even get at me, they eventually just leave you alone. They realize that I tell you the truth, I think they start to feel like a bad human being. And they're like, I need to stop messing with this dude. He's not even messing with me. So why am I messing with him? I think that's the way to do it. Just ignore him. You could get confrontational with it. Certain kind of slick ways to do it, but I don't like to do it because it feeds the negative energy. And you're reacting, and that's exactly what they wanted. So I tend to just ignore people that got my nerves. Like my brother, for example, when I'm growing up, me and my brother were two different people. And I would let the insults, because I was a geek, I was a nerd, proud to admit it, and people would make fun of me all the time. And my answer was always like, whatever. But my brother would be like, fuck you, this and that. And he would get beat up a lot coming up, and I wasn't there to protect him because, we went to school, at different ages. And it was just like, I told him, just say whatever because they're trying to get at you. They're mad at their own lives. When someone's negative, it's coming. They're dealing with something. They're dealing with their own inner problems, and that's why they're attacking you and messing with you. Especially if you're good in sales, you're real personable, stuff like that. A lot of times people are jealous of that stuff, man. Let them deal with it. You don't deal with it. You just take care of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm switching.
I needed actually a little bit more information. Is this trouble at work or is this in the nightclub? Because nightclub is a different thing. If they smell a punk, they're going to fuck with you. And that's where you want to learn some self-defense, start working on body, build yourself up. But if you're giving off that, that weak vibe, people are going to smell it and they're going to start picking on you.
No, I think it was. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think it was. Well, I'm switching more. I'm going to go more into Medicaid. I was with life insurance now. I know a lot of what you're saying about wasting time after, even more so with people who aren't interested in this and that. Just from a point of view, you're always asking people and asking everyone you can see. But it was more at work where I'm younger. I'm 22, and most of the ones there, I don't know if you can hear me because I don't see any faces on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, but most of the ones there were in their 30s or late 20s, or at the very least a little bit older. And like I would notice little things from other people there because I put in a lot more time than the other people because it's sales. The hours aren't really as specific. So you come in. I would come in early and I would leave late because I wanted to get better at it. I definitely did in a few months. But it was more at work. It's not really as much at night.
Jealousy.
Okay. Well, if it's at work, then you don't get into confrontation at work. You got to avoid that.
Yeah,
you got to learn how to schmooze.
Yeah, I wouldn't get into confrontation. I would be more on the other end where I would just, I wouldn't know what to say, so I wouldn't say that much. But it was kind of like you would notice. Like, you wouldn't necessarily be an obvious thing, but you would see little things that they would say, if that makes any sense. Little kind of, like...
An example?
Like, I'm younger, and it would be like, oh, it's a bit being a kid, or different things like... that kind of like, I could see they were kind of like, say it in a way, or... I even saw one of them who was a little bit older, and he wasn't working so hard. He was telling me some, and I didn't say anything there, some wrong things, like, to try and trip me up and different things like that I noticed. That you know how it is.
Jealousy, envy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're jealous. You're working hard. You make them look bad, feel bad. You're doing all the extra work it takes.
Yep.
And they're in the comments. Ignore them. Like Tyrone did. Ignore them.
Yeah, when you're in
Yep.
sales, you have to be driven and motivated on your own. So what you're doing by coming in early, working late, producing, getting better at your craft, you're making them feel less adequate because they have the control, they have the power over their own lives and their own job to be what you are, but they don't have the drive. They don't desire to be there. So the easy way to combat that is to look down on you, to condescend on you, especially if you're working with, say, a 40-year-old, you're 22, and you're knocking the numbers out of the park, or you're at least getting better at your craft, and they're staying stagnant. You're making them feel like they're not where they want to be in life. Sales, you just keep doing you. You keep going after your goals. You keep making more money. You keep getting better. Because the better you get at sales, the better you're going to get at talking to women, the better you're going to get at life in general, because really you're selling yourself when you're trying to talk to a girl. So think of your relationships and when you approach women as, I'm going to get better at this, just like I did at my sales job.
Especially on the phones, I noticed that, because that was where I was always, of anything, the least confident was talking on the phone. And I had you had in one of your programs, even a little fear card, and I would read that before every phone call when I was doing that for a while. And eventually, you just, it's fine. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
But thank you both for helping me with that. I'll shut off my mic again in case you hear the winds going back and forth here.
Okay. Thanks, Matthew. Okay, so closing time. I had a private consultation in about a few minutes. So, any closing comments there, Tyrone and Sarah?
It's been great. I actually enjoyed this more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
So, hey, if it all goes well, I'd be happy to do it again sometime. I'm serious. I had a good time.
It was very nice meeting both of you. It seems like we're on a very similar wavelength.
I was gonna say I know why we met. I see it but it's the law. It's how it works.
You know what? He was just saying the other day, actually last night, he was just saying how we don't have a lot of couples that are like us, that think like us, that are driven like us, that have the same goals and desires, that want to be positive, and how we need to surround ourselves with couples that desire greater things out of life. And here you are. So
Exactly.
Thank you both.
All the time. We don't have any friends.
We say the same thing.
Yeah.
The things happen for a reason. What I've learned.
When people aren't trying to be better and they're not trying to reach for something higher and they're just all they want to do is complain, you end up repelling those people away from you. Yeah. So it's nice to attract people to us that think the same way.
Exactly. Well, I've enjoyed this show a lot. I was a little leery myself about reaching out to other people. I've done that before, and I've been burned on it. Like the guy that owns a school of dating. We got into a bad, that was bad.
It got ugly.
It got ugly. He had a guy that had severe ADD on his camp, and the guy came to my camp, and he learned how to get a girlfriend. He went back and told them on his radio show. Yeah. And so he started bad-mouthing, my site, and so I had a professional debate scheduled between him and I, and he bailed out and had someone else stand in his place, and I won, but I do public speaking also and debate and stuff, so it was easy for me. But that's the last time, and I'm really glad I met you. You're a decent person. You're a real nice guy, and I really appreciate it, both of you guys.
No problem.
So
it was great meeting both of you.
Great meeting you guys. We'll do this again. Let's do this again.
All right, we will.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Have fun.
All right. Bye.